What is up, YouTube? We are back yet again.
How's it going, guys? If you don't know who we are, we introduce ourselves. I am Hayakino.
Sonic here, as per usual, and this time around, we are actually going to be discussing like the base mechanics of BBTAG for this podcast. And this is now what, episode 9? Or is it 9 or 7? I can't remember. I think it's 9.
I think it's 8.
No, the last one would have been 8. The last one would have been 8 in that case.
Yeah, so this is 9.
Yeah, I'm just making sure here because I kind of lost count. Let's get this started.
So now we'll be talking about the mechanics of basically cross-tag battle.
Specifically the base mechanics, not series exclusive. That's next time.
Yeah, that'll be the next time.
Series exclusive mechanics, that's something worth talking about primarily because they actually did bring in a lot of the base series mechanics. And they did so very well in my opinion, but we're getting off topic. But with the system mechanics of BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle in general, there is a lot to discuss. We're probably not going to go into every single detail because we'd be here forever.
It would be, yeah, it would be like, if you do it, it would be like, what, 2 hours talk with it? If we talk about every single mechanic in the game?
No, we don't even have to discuss some of the mechanics we already discussed, notably the whole cross combo system.
Yeah, right now, the mechanic of active burst and active change, we'll be talking about those.
Active switching, bursts, assist calls, which we've been doing the ever-living shit out of. But you may notice characters have 3 assists. And I do mean there are 3. Bases are on whether you hold forward, back, or keep the stick in neutral. So basically on a number pad notation, if you do 2, 5, or 8, you will get the neutral assist. 1, 4, or 7, I believe, would give you the backward assist, and 3, 6, and 9 is for the forward assist. You may notice those diamonds that are filling up. That's something to explain in a moment, because I'm probably going to die soon. You may notice that there's a lot of moments where we end up flashing red for a brief moment. That's in fighting game terminology, a DP. Commonly more known as a reversal.
Yeah. Mojo is my resolve.
Please tell me you know the fancy gen combos.
I do not. I'm sorry, man. How do you botch that?
I didn't have enough time to go for the Silver Fox link. But yeah, to go into reversals for a second in this game, if used on the ground, they are air unblockable. If you would demonstrate for a second, please. Notice the blue exclamation mark up there? That was an air unblockable. However, you may want to high jump for this. Some of them, like Gordeau's, you may want to jump high jump it. Double jump. They are only air unblockable on the first hit. One more time. Not quite what I meant. You might want to be blocking that, by the way. You weren't blocking.
Oh, my bad.
Just double jump, just neutral double jump while holding back afterward. No, that's an air dash. Double jump. God damn it. I said double jump, you fool. But yeah, Gordeau and Yuzu, I think, are the only 2 in the game with a DP that is only air unblockable on the first hit. So keep that in mind.
In some cases, in this case, an example of Phantom, she could DP in the air.
Gordeau is another one, Yang is another one, Hyde is. There's quite a few characters that can do their DPs airborne, but it does come at the price of if you do it in the air, it's not air unblockable.
Yeah. And also not 100 DP in the air too.
Yeah, but more often than not, you don't want to be, like, ending your air combos with a DP. You want to be going for a knockdown.
Yeah. If I'm going to like my team for a sec. If you end up going with, if you're starting out and you want to learn the mechanics, there's always tactics modes for those. But at the same time, the mechanics of the game is quite complex. I would say quite complex, but that'll be a lot.
It's not as complex as Dragon Ball FighterZ, but it is more complex than some other recent fighting games that we've had. At the time I'm in this recording, Soul Calibur 6 is already out, but I'm talking more like along the lines of that one game I won't name because I've already bitched about it enough. But to discuss more along the basics of the system mechanics, one of the best teams to learn that with is actually, believe it or not, Rogna Jin.
Yeah.
Basic as it is very effective for learning the system mechanics.
And good start out too.
They're decent for starting out, but if you want to branch out, there are 40 different characters, and like I said before, a total of 780 different team combinations.
It's actually, if you guys want to think, no, I don't want to start off small, I want to go big, take it from us, start off small, then progress your way up.
You don't want to start off like learning all like the stupidly ridiculous cross combo stuff, which we talked about that in like a previous podcast. You want to start off understanding the basics.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff you see us do, like those TK Kuga combos with Lene, those kinds of links are not easy.
They must be frame perfect.
Not frame perfect per se, but they require very tight execution.
And you're the man who actually did it.
Yes, I think twice on this podcast, actually.
More than twice. And you see right now, I should have downloaded on that.
Yes, Jin's 6P in that situation is good for lockdown.
The 60 is that,
In that specific situation.
yeah.
5C in this game, or neutral C if you're going by like basic terms, is a universal overhead. The Blaze Blue ones are faster for the most part, but they're not safe on block. The opposite can be said about the Under Night and Ruby 5Cs. It's a little slower, but it's actually safe on block.
If you're going with a standing Ragnar, what I'm going with a standing Ragnar? After you do your high intense combo.
I'm surprised that punished.
Well, even though Ragnar's punished to the full screen, it can easily be punished, just kind of like games.
Yeah, most distortions in this game are punishable on block. There are very few exceptions. Jin's Toga is one of those exceptions to the rule.
And highest Spellbringer should also be one of them, but
It's not.
But it gets heavily beaten out by any other distortion.
No, Palebringer, you're thinking of Dryer Vortex. Palebringer has one of the highest invincibility states of any distortion in the game. The only one beating it out is Yuzu's Luster Birth. It wins in basically every Clash battle, and it's a 3-frame startup, making it one of the fastest moves in the game.
Now,
We need to refresh for a second because I've only got like 40 seconds left on this thing.
Yeah, we want to refresh early.
You were saying?
I was going to say, I was going to go with Easy Eye Warrior for this time. For this. Because I would say, I think it beats out, Jin's Toga.
Yeah, it's one of the few that can, I think, consistently beat it out if you have good timing.
If you have good...
Toga may seem really overpowered at first, especially in Resonance Level 4. But there are a lot of counters to this nowadays, to where that distortion's kind of fallen off of its broken status pre-patch.
Yeah, I'm using both colors. I'm using the white colors beforehand. Either like.
Another good team for understanding the basic mechanics of the game is Yuno Arkami and Hyde himself. It's a very basic bitch team, but what it does is it is really freaking powerful.
Oh my god. How retarded are we going with this team?
I'm talking like Hyde's assists are insane, I've mentioned this so many times, and Narukami does a ton of damage to where you don't really have to do too many full combos to really get a good kill, but in his case, he's one of the few really strong characters in this game where you really have to know what you're doing with him.
It's one of those where you really gotta pay attention to.
You pretty much have to pay attention to the entire arena and know exactly what you're doing. But in terms of understanding the mechanics, if you're under lockdown pressure, one thing you can do is push blocking, which they call reject guarding in this game. If I may demonstrate, that was a case of a 5A happy birthday. That was a case of bursting. Bursting is considered a defensive mechanic in a lot of anime fighters.
Okay, now we should get into Clash Assault.
We already talked about those. Clash Assault's basically the...
Standing 5C. Well on guard. Guarding 5C. So if you could do a, say you do a C, I was trying to do that when I ended up getting my ass beaten down. Because having someone do a standing 5C and someone guarding it, it could easily be punishable. It could be punishable, but at the same time, it could also do some damage.
Do a decent chunk of damage. There's also a bit of a timing minigame to it. Notice the good there. It's a universal overhead.
Yeah.
But to explain one thing for a second, there's a little bit of a timing minigame. If I may.
Go ahead.
And I mistimed. One more shot. You asshole. I missed timing that for some reason. Hold on.
Oh.
There we go. You saw the marvelous there, and every other time it was good. If you press the button with good timing, you'll either get a good if you didn't time it well at all, an excellent if you timed it decently, or a marvelous if you timed it perfect.
But still, it's all about timing, to be honest. It's just these people. And I got hard Astros.
Long story short, Astrals are instant kills.
Yeah, they're the instant kills of the BB universe.
Now, those of you who have played the Source games may actually recognize these finishers, except for the Ruby ones, those are brand new. They are actually their quote-unquote best finishers from their Source game. BlazBlue's Astrals, Persona 4 Arena's instant kills, and for the Under Night characters, they have their Infinite Worth Exists, which works a lot differently here than it does in the Source game. But we're not going into that one.
We're not getting into that just yet. We're still focusing.
We're focusing primarily on BBTAG. We may discuss Under Night at some point if I can actually get it on Steam.
Same here. But at the same time, these characters have different. Each character has different.
They have series exclusive mechanics, which again we'll discuss next time, but because there's a lot of different things you can do with these mechanics. There's a lot to consider. But anyway.
Each character has their own 6P. High order.
No, each character has 3 different assists.
Yeah, the 3
Some are way better than others. Notably, again, Hyde 6P is insanely good, whereas Chie 6P, shall we demonstrate?
Oh my god, there's another fucking flying dragon. Hold on, let me get Hyde.
Let me demonstrate just how garbage this is for a second. You didn't have to get out Ruby, you know.
Oh, okay, I could easily use Hyde then. Hyde, never coming again.
But just to explain something for a second, first of all, let's take a look at Hyde 6P, just to show why that's so good. Yes.
Okay.
It's kind of a mix of his regular orbiter and his EX. It doesn't have the follow-ups, but and unlike the EX, it does 2 less hits, but what makes it so good is that it's a multi-hitting projectile assist. Snow Sisters, yes. Love that piano. I love this fucking piano, it's great.
Piano is OP, please don't nerf, please buff.
Buff it like they buffed Camry. Bleh, I fucked up the joke. Buff. Bleh, I cannot talk. Buff it like they buffed Cammy every patch for no fucking reason. Oh wait, that's Capcom. But to show what makes that's Lotus. It's a multi-hitting projectile assist. It's decent enough for lockdown, but you can literally just throw it out, and for the most part, it works. Dragon Kick assist, on the other hand, which is Chi 6P, if I may demonstrate.
Go ahead.
Wrong character. Watch this.
It was on a standing Hyde.
Remember the jank hurt boxes thing I was talking about? That comes into play here.
Because I'm nice.
But you'll see what I mean by the jank hurt boxes for a second here. Because I think this hits on a standing Narukami. If it doesn't, then fuck me. It does. Okay.
Because how tall Narukami is.
No, it's just the hurt boxes. One thing to be careful of with bursts is they are not invincible on the incoming. If the opponent sees it coming, they will be ready to punish it.
Yeah.
Or in the case of Chie, that can happen.
Conditioning.
Beautiful.
Yes, that happened.
I have no words.
My bad.
I may have to tone the volume down on that for us during the editing.
My bad. Big Berg out of nowhere.
Yes, quite literally out of nowhere, but that's off topic. But yeah, as you saw, some assists are infinitely better than others.
Hyde. Should bring a Hyde Pillbringer.
Oh god, save that for the refresh. Now, to get on the characters who actually stand a chance for a moment.
Yeah, should bring a Hyde Pillbringer assist.
Yes.
Because his Pillbringer assist is kind of like his 6P, but...
It's retarded. Like, it's actually retarded. But let's get on to some assists that are actually a little more interesting than they might look on paper. And I'm sorry, but I have to bring this team out. As much as I'd rather not, because I'm kind of switching one of them out.
You bastard.
No, like, I'm dead serious. News assists are actually pretty interesting.
Wise on point, oh my god.
Yeah, Weiss is more of a point character because, again, some assists are much better than others. One of the worst offenders of a bad assist kit, or rather a non-existent one in my opinion, is Makoto. The only thing they're good for is punishing bursts. That's it.
That was a review.
What happened? Don't say anything here, just say it in the DM.
It's the review. My dog, my other dog just try to get off the pedestal of the stool.
Oh, you still have one of those things.
Yeah.
But to go into news assists for a second, they're actually pretty interesting. 4P is actually a gravity field that limits horizontal movement in the air. But 6P is the main one that's so good. It's a lockdown assist, but it also has good setup potential.
Yes, I like this with back to Naruto, guys. And so I'm here to show you the film needs to be assist.
Throws out. It's a really good lockdown, as you will demonstrate. That was actually a good time to put me on the sandwich there.
Yeah. How to get it? No, coming out of there. Wasn't the shoes turning? Son of a bitch. Ah shit. God damn, I gotta shake. Ah! Give me the audio that I missed. Oh wait, I found resonance. Oh, that's another mechanic we should talk about.
Resonance Blaze is actually a very important mechanic to the metagame as well. Should we show the ridiculousness that is its level 4 chip damage?
For who?
Jin, Narukami, Batista, New, basically any character with a multi-hitting projectile distortion.
Yes, let's do that.
So in that case, I say what better team to bring out for that to demonstrate than this right here.
Yankees like himself. Oh, what do you know?
You're going to understand why Toga was considered so broken pre-patch.
Because the insane amount of chip damage.
You have not seen Insanity until you have seen Resonance level 4 Togas.
Yeah, you have not seen actual insanity. If you see the actual insanity, you'll be going like, what the fuck?
You'll be the one to demonstrate it. I want to land the goddamn fancy combo.
If we permit it.
You're getting to do the Toga spam. It's only fair, motherfucker. And that's twice you took my color in the same match.
Yeah, it's like you, that's why.
Bitch.
God damn it, you're gonna do my thing.
Really?
Yes. Well. I still need Jin alive, so don't kill him just yet.
Oh, right. I forgot. I can't do the fancy combo in this case. Kinda let me kill off the Narukami at this point.
There you go.
You might want to switch out. Actually, no, wait, I have more health, so you go for it. You might want to kill Narukami.
No, I want to. Yeah, you're right.
Do it. Look at the chip damage on that, and I am trying to regenerate.
You know
And even worse, point blank, it is safe on block. Wrong one. But you see our point here? Resonance level 4 is so important because it invokes a lot of stupidly unheard of comebacks.
It's hard to do comebacks if you get Resonance so good. The amount of chip damage Jin does.
Here's the key though. The key thing to keep in mind. The amount of chip is based on the resonance level. The bare minimum of when it starts becoming ridiculous is level 3.
Now on to...
What's the next one we need to bring up? Active switching, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, the active switch.
Here's actually a good team to demonstrate that.
I could show how I can switch on my team.
This is actually a good team to demonstrate this with, because active switching may not be that easy at first for some people. Basically, when you call the assist character, so long as their assist still has some time left before they go into their idle animation, you can actually press the switch out button to do an active switch. This is a key thing in some situations. Depending on the team, you may want to do this mid-combo to extend the combo and get your other character out of the way. This can be risky if you're doing this raw, however, because it leaves the other character wide open to a free punish. Hold on a second. Again, you missed nothing. Again, no way we were going to finish the match in time. But no, just to give you a little basic idea. Wait, that's a chip damage?
Yeah, you didn't know?
I never noticed!
Yeah, Roger does chip damage. Yeah, chip damage.
Interesting. But yeah, if I may demonstrate one of the more practical uses of active switch for a second here, check this out.
Active switches.
But no, that was like a small idea there, but... That was more going into cross-combo active switching, but we won't be talking about that here.
Yeah, that'll be probably for next time. But yeah, you didn't know Rollins could do chip damage?
No, I never noticed that, actually.
Wow.
You learn something new every day.
Yes, you do.
That was a DHC. It's a Marvel term that stands for Delayed Hyper Cancel. The thing to keep in mind about delayed hyper cancels, I'm just going to call them DHCs from here on out, they always do the exact same amount of damage. They'll always do 2,000 or 2,500 if you did them during a cross combo. So keep that in mind when you're paying attention to the health bar wondering if a DHC will kill. They always do the same damage regardless. Yeah, right there you saw a proper use of active switching to extend combos. Cross-combo active switching we discussed in the cross-combo podcast, but that's another point entirely.
Yeah.
I think we've gone over most of the mechanics, but the thing to keep in mind when you're using your assist to extend combos, that takes up half an assist bar. Using them normally when you're not doing anything does not.
Doing that with standing logo or standing hide is probably best there.
No, here's the thing. Here's the thing with that. Here's the thing. What I'm getting at is, so long as you're not actively attacking, it does not consume meter. This can actually lead to some really important strategies if you're planning to zone. I'm actually going to bring out your team here for a second to show one of my favorite examples of this. Sort of, yeah. Although, again, the joke tier list would say this is more meta than esports, but that's beside the point. But to get back on point here for a second, I'm actually going to showcase one of my personal favorite strategies that go for double zoning. Again, we couldn't have gotten this song a game earlier.
He's like, nah, oh, fuck you. But at the same time, it's the reason why there's a thing called chip damage is because some characters actually does inherit some chip damage.
Hyde is the only one here that actually has that as a mechanic from his source game.
Yeah, he's the only one who actually inherited the chip damage.
But to go on a little bit of a strategy here for a second, when you're trying to zone with something like Ruby's rifle shot here, one thing I like to do is call the 6P by doing the proper input for rifle shot, calling the assist, and then pressing the button. Wait, that links? I'm curious about something now, actually. If I may see if this works. You might want to not be blocking this, because I have an idea. Oh yeah, something I should show you for a second here. No, you bursted. That was just a bad burst.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by bursts not being invincible. They can be anticipated. Something to keep in mind, they are always considered head attribute attacks.
That's a dead Ruby already.
But yeah, one of my favorite strategies is to do the 2-3-6 input, then press the assist button to call the 6P, and then press the A button to complete the rifle shot.
And that's a lot of damage.
Again, a more proper way of using active switch for combo extending. I heard that one so many times during the demo. But yeah, there's a lot of strategies you can do with utilizing assists. It all just comes down to how well you can utilize them well. Basically, for covering weaknesses of your teammates, like I mentioned before in the last podcast, or just in general, taking full advantage of the situation. Have we covered everything at this point?
We've pretty much covered all the basic mechanics of the game.
We haven't gone into, like, absolutely everything regarding the game itself. That's what tactics mode is for, if you plan on doing that. It does show at least, like, a few basic combos, but the one thing I don't like about tactics mode in this game is that it doesn't quite show all the optimal combos. That's the thing. It kind of suffers from the one problem King of Fighters 14's trial mode had, where a lot of the combos really are not optimal. They're like your basic stepping stones. But we've gone over just about everything, so we'll refresh and give 2 more proper games, because we might be able to sneak in a 3rd episode in this session. We might be able to. So, refreshing right now. Yeah, apparently camera shifting issues happened and I didn't notice it until now.
So yeah, proper games of how we do and how we do this
Don't quite do absolutely everything we do because it's a little insane. Until you really start understanding like how the game works, like what characters are best to start with what if you're pairing them with certain assist combinations. Like I said, there's a total of 780 combinations in this game, so the possibilities are insane.
The possibilities are fucking endless, too.
No, they're not endless. I just told you there's actually 780 combinations, so it's going to end at some point. Hey, whatever that is, I don't know.
Oh, that was like a record.
Yeah, we might be able to sneak in a third episode, but the problem is I would have to, like, get all the video files off the SD card because, yeah, I'm running on a little bit of limited space here. Unburstable.
Okay, nope, that's cross out punishment right there. Wasn't enough to get out of there. Damn it. And that is like...
11.
11.13.
I should have gone for the safe jump.
Alright, I have fucking... That's... I got sandwich charts.
You got double sandwiched, which is unusual to me. Also, some kind of an interesting, I think, bug with cross combos that I just found out about recently. If you have cross combo active, you kill off the main character during it, but you don't distortion until afterward. Your meter does not drain, nor does your assist character leave.
It's that point where you...
It's a minor bug, and I did actually show this off on my Twitter page at least once. But, yeah, it actually can happen, and although I did kill the assist character at the same time during that, in the rare situation where you can replicate that and you don't kill the assist character, I'm actually curious as to what kind of situations you can come up with.
It's also that point where you want to make sure everything is good on your end, and also the part where you make sure you know what you're doing with your team.
Yeah, that's a key thing. Whether it quote-unquote works or not, a lot of these team combinations can do a lot better in practice than they might on paper.
Like, if you have a team that you want to try out, or you know that you want to make it work, I say go to training mode and see what you can do.
See what you can find, but keep in mind you want to be able to do this kind of stuff and apply it to a real match.
Can you not do this again? That's like...
Purely for health management purposes, and that's another important thing if you want to be good at this game, is proper health management.
I want to say it counts to your health. Ow. You waited for me to make a move. Where was that going?
Making sure you can't burst out of that.
Wasn't planning to. That's it. Nope. That's death.
Yep. And we're kind of running low on time with the recorder. If I were to get in a third one... Are you okay with refreshing after every 2 games or something?
That's fine with me.
Good, then we might be able to sneak in just one more episode for this session. Because we already went over, like, the base mechanics of BBTAG, but next time we're going to delve a little bit deeper and discuss series-exclusive mechanics. Well, at least the way they were implemented in this game. But until the next time, Sonic here, and of course Hyde's here as well. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace out.